Hey, what's going on, guys? This is AB with Beat Machine Productions at beatmachineproductions.com. Real quick before we get into it, please make sure that you like, subscribe, hit that notification button down below so that you can know when all the videos are dropping. Today, we're going to be breaking down a beat that's got a little bit of a West Coast kind of feel to it, and that came out quite well with just a few elements. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. Let's get into it. Okay, so the very first thing that we've got in this one is this lead right here up top. And there's a few different iterations of this that kind of go throughout. Like I said before, there's very few elements. So here's that first lead. Pretty simple, nothing crazy. And after that, I just took let's open that back up, see what we're dealing with here. This was one that I pulled from Alchemy. This is it's a native sound here in Logic. And then I paired it with another kind of saw lead that we had, or that I found in Omnisphere to help kind of open it up, thicken it out a little bit. One of the reasons I went with two of these, obviously this one's in a lower register, and it's got that really growly kind of sound to it. But this one just really kind of gives it some more fullness and some more presence. At the very beginning here, I do take that exact same thing. Well, I'm moving that over there like that. But at the very beginning, I take that exact same thing and I take it an octave lower. But I don't keep that one throughout because it sort of mucks up the bottom part of the track where I have the 808. So I just have that in for the introduction on this track. Same lead again. And essentially what I did was that is I took a sound from Arcade, and that main characteristic that you hear in that is a step effects, and the step effects is native in Logic. And I fooled around with the modulator a little bit, so it sort of gives us some accents. Here it is without that, pretty flat. So that's where that sound kind of comes from. Also put some more fat effects in there, some distortion, a little bit of soft saturation, things like that. That kind of help fill out that sound a little bit. Went in with the channel EQ and dropped the lows off. Here it is without. You can hear some of that low in the bottom there. So when I turn that on, it kind of helps clear that part of the track up. Like I said, just trying not to muddy the waters too much, right? So what we have when we put all those in together is we have this nice, very simple kind of melodic idea. So that's really the first idea. It's just that one riff over and over again. Afterwards, I found myself a lead in Arcade and picked out a nice melody on the lead. So what I did was I took the same thing, that same fat effects, a little bit of saturation, a little bit of drive. It's got a bass enhancer on it that kind of warms up the sound a little bit so it's not so thin. Okay. I think I was going to use this remix effect. I turned it on, but I don't think I ended up using it. Yeah, I didn't end up doing anything with that, so I don't know. I guess I just left it there. The next thing that we did is I took this string sound that I found in Omnisphere, and we just did, a nice big open fifth, nice short staccato sounding, just an open fifth, and that just goes throughout, gives us a little bit of forward motion, gives us something that the ear can kind of catch on to, as far as tempo and things like that go. Afterwards, uh, I had another idea. I wanted something underneath that would just kind of go throughout. And what this was originally, sorry, there's a puppy down there. What this was originally is, I want to say that this was a sound that I found that was native to Logic, that I bounced and then reversed, because what you'll hear is that you'll hear that sort of downward kind of retrograde, where it kind of trails off at the bottom. That was actually on the front part of the sound, and I didn't like it, so I bounced it and reversed it, and it actually came out pretty good in the reverse, to where it goes down on the end. So pretty unique sounding effect right there. A little bit of chorus, a little bit of Valhalla reverb on that one. The next thing that I wanted to think about was making sure that I had an 808 that sounded good, but that wasn't, all over the place. So when you look at this, it's essentially, this G sharp, this G sharp here, and then just a D sharp in the middle. So, it moves around a little bit, but it doesn't do anything crazy. So here's that 808. So that's essentially it. That's the 808. Nothing too crazy. Everything's fairly, I just put a compressor on it so that it doesn't get in the way of the kick, so those two don't have to compete with each other on that very low end down there. But yeah, that was pretty much it. One thing that I do remember doing on this one was I turned off the 808 when I went and did the kick pattern and did the drums, because I didn't want to be kind of influenced by what the 808 was doing, and trying to, a lot of times we want to line the kick up with the 808, and a lot of times that's fine. But in this one, I wanted to do something different. I wanted the kick to kind of have its own identity, and the 808 to have its own identity. So if you look, you'll see that I did two different kick patterns. So when they play back, there's this one, and then there's this one here. What I did was I just kind of clone these two channels, and sometimes what I will do is I'll actually drag these up into this channel here, so that I don't have this extra one in the way. But I just didn't feel like dealing with that, and I just left it how it was. So here's that kick. Okay, so switches up a little bit at the end. Like I said, this is something that I would normally just kind of drag up there, but I just sort of left it. When we go back and we add in the clap, I like to stack my claps sometimes so that I get a nice big full sound out of them. And some snares for just a little bit of extra flavor on those. So, and the same thing with the snare, where I kind of switched it up on this one. It's just a little bit different than the other, but mostly it's pretty much the same. The hi-hat is going to be consistent all the way through. So yeah, that's that. Open GAT. Open GAT. Um, Add this in, give us a little bit more flavor on it. And the idea for this open hat, this open hissy hat, came from that lead. So when we add that lead in with it, you'll see where those kind of line up. So yeah, this open hat here, it really kind of serves as a counter melody to this lead. You don't really think of it that way, but your ears kind of tune into both of those things. I think I threw this over to the left, if I'm not mistaken. And let's see, well, that leads right in the middle. So just kind of threw that over to the left. It's something that you'll just sort of hear out of the left side, and it's sort of juxtaposed with the snares and things like that. Came back in with just a ride. So that's pretty much it on drums. Threw in an impact, some reverses, and all of that good stuff. And that was pretty much it. Like I said, just a few elements, nothing crazy. There's the saw element. So there's that. Then you take your melodic lead. You take your strings. And then this bounced slide here. And those things really kind of fill up the sound so that you get a whole lot of bang for your buck in this particular track. So with all that being said and done, let's run it from the top.
Beat machine in the building.
Well, folks, it's going to be it for that one today. Like I said, once again, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and until next time.